Hello, dear human. I am so happy that you are here because it means that you understand that you need help, and that's huge. To understand that you need help is really a big step toward finding that help, toward growing out of the patterns of your behavior, of your thinking that are keeping you stuck at the place that is painful, maybe at the place that is financially non-supportive of you, at the place that is relationally non-supportive of you. So understanding that you need help is big. Then it also means, you being here, is that you understand that there are people out there. There are these processes, these containers that are going to be empowering you, that are going to be giving you those tools that you need in order to come into much more balanced, harmonious, joyful place. And that's amazing because unfortunately, there is so much disbelief and distrust of psychological processes. There is so much confusion. There is so much variety of offerings that I see people being confused and not always understanding. So in this video, I'm going to talk to you about my offerings. I'm going also to share with you that I've been trained as clinical psychologist. I completed my doctorate in 2011. I also certified as sex, love, and relationship coach with tantric approach. I've been really learning a lot. I have 4 academic degrees, 1 bachelor, 2 masters, 1 doctorate, all in the field of psychology. My master's in psychobiology. I was very curious to understand neuropsychology, the way our brain works. In my doctorate studies, I decided to explore ayahuasca-like neural patterns, and I was curious whether you can induce this with neurofeedback. Did not find that being really possible in my study, but that was the area that I was very excited about. Altered states of consciousness, how can we tap into those? And I spent also a lot of time practicing, studying Hatha Yoga, eventually also certifying as a yoga instructor. So this is what I'm bringing to the table, offering my clients. And this is also why you will see that my prices are kind of high. And the reason they are high, let me just share with you, there are a few reasons. Well, obviously it's just because I've seen over the course of my life, my professional life, that what I'm able to give to my clients is super helpful. I've seen people come to me with very ambitious career and relational goals, and then seeing them accomplish these goals. So clearly, when that happens, you understand that the value of what you give is really high, that people who are going to be investing in this work are going to have a huge return on their investment. And that brought me to this place. Another reason is I've done a lot of volunteer work. I feel like I've put so much out there of my energy and of my knowledge, helped so many people throughout the years when I was interning, when I was a practicum student, that I really feel that it's rightful. You know, I at this point of my life, I really feel that absolutely we need to be paying healers, teachers adequately. And unfortunately, this is not happening. This is not happening for many different reasons. A lot of people who are doing this work may have a partner who is earning nicely, so they feel like, okay, I don't really need to be making that much money. But that's another big part of why me, as female guide, as female mentor, with all the education, with all the knowledge that I have, understands that that's a part of the change. It can no longer be that people who are doing this incredibly powerful and valuable work are going to be underpaid. And if I want to change that, I need to start with myself. And really, thankfully to my clients who could honor and understand that, here I am, able to offer what I'm offering, able to do this work, able to be in a state that I can be of service to you, right? Because you can understand that how can I give that kind of a presence and energy that is going to be medicinal if I myself am not nourishing this human being. And please do not be mistaken. I am a human being. And people who you are going to meet in your life, however accomplished or inspirational they are, we are all human beings. And human beings, I'm saying this because I've heard all kinds of things through my career, like people saying, how can you charge, and not help just you're a spiritual person, and a spiritual person, an assumption is just going to give and give, like a given tree, without regard to the self. Well, that's contradictory to what I'm teaching. That wouldn't be me practicing self-love if I behaved this way, right? Said that, I do give discounts. I do have payment plans because, of course, if I have someone who is coming to me and saying, Ira, I really want to work with you, but I'm not, really at the place in my life where I'm not able to make those payments, I'm always happy to consider discount. I'm always happy to do everything I can to accommodate the need of the person. And the best way to start this process is to schedule free clarity call. You will see that if you're watching this video on my website, there is a button below. You can click and schedule a free 30-minute clarity call. Trust me, I'm not going to sell you my services. I'm not going to try to push you into buying anything. In this 30-minute session, you are going to experience what it's like to be doing this work with me. What is my presence? What is my inside are looking like and feeling like? You also will be able to gain more clarity. So I'm going to be most of the time listening to you, trying to understand what are your needs, what are your desires, what is your specific composure at this time as a soul in a human body, as consciousness. What is the work that you have done so far? And then based on all of this information, I'm going to be offering you some feedback, some insight on what I think is going to be helpful to you. And not necessarily is going to be working with me. Maybe we will understand that for you, group work is better. Maybe we will understand that there are some other things that you need to be doing, not necessarily investing in one-on-one mentorship. And if I do think that one of my services are going to be beneficial to you, then of course I'm going to mention that and go more into depth. What are these services, how they can specifically help you. In this video now, I would like to continue and to tell you what I'm offering so that you have overall understanding. So most of my clients have been women. I would say 80% of my clients have been women and 20% of my clients have been men. And besides working with people individually, I also work with couples. So over all those years, I came to developing 10-session package. Whether you're coming as a couple or whether you are coming as individual, there is this most common 10-session online package that I offer to people. It's very convenient. You don't have to travel anywhere. We can find time that works for you. What is also wonderful about this process, that it allows us to spread it over 4 months. Usually it will take us over 4 months to go through these 10 sessions. And that's really incredible for our nervous system because it will be learning and integrating all the lessons, and it does help to have this time. There is definitely benefit to intensive work when people come to my retreat center and we are working intensively for 24 hours. There is this process, I'm going to be talking about that later, and when I'm suggesting those, this work. But usually I've seen a lot of benefit in a 10-session online process. So each session is about 90 minutes, sometimes up to 2 hours long. I'm always asking my clients to dedicate 2 hours just in case, also, because you don't want to be running from this work where you're going to be diving deep into your body, into your connection to the self, to your heart, to your emotions, to your sexuality sometimes, depending on what is your request and what is your goal. You don't want to be running from that session right away to some other meeting. So you'll need to allocate 2 hours. Then you're also going to have an access to me via chat throughout all this work, all these 4 months. You are going to be able to come back after session, between sessions, and say, hey, Ira, I've been practicing this homework that we discussed, and this is something that is coming up and it doesn't make sense. Or there's this challenge and I'm not sure how to go about it. Or suddenly I feel really dysregulated and I'm not sure what to do in this moment, and we still have some time until our next session. So that has been also very helpful because you're going to have this ongoing support. And you can, I guess you can understand then, well, okay, that makes sense why this package costs whatever it costs, because it's not just few 1-hour sessions and I cannot talk to you between those sessions. It's a different process. It's not psychotherapy. It's something that is unique that I have developed because I've seen that this is what is needed, that we need more than just 50 minutes or 1 hour in order to really drop in. I've heard from many of my clients feedback that in regular therapy sessions, people would start to feel that they are really softening into the self and opening up and getting into that deeper, more intimate place after 40 minutes. And then all they have is 10 minutes until the session is over. So this knowledge had informed how I developed this package. If you are in a place where you need more clarity, or maybe you know that you are coming up against relational or generational trauma, this 10-session process is going to be amazing for you. Some people come to me when they feel that they need to connect to their ability not only to be self-aware, but to self-heal with love. They want to connect to their capacity to be very kind, very loving, very compassionate to the self. It's really incredible to see how the energetic experience changes. People have very profound experiences during those sessions. So each session is a powerful intervention. It often changes something in your perspective. Each time it gives you empowerment. And the way we work is really different from person to person. So that's the beauty of working with someone rather than relying on self-help books or videos. That's another part of, there is advantage, of course, in having all this knowledge accessible to people. But I think that the other part that is a disadvantage is that people can get very much intellectual about all those different techniques and practices, and you kind of know, but you also don't. Because each one of us is different. And when you have someone who is able to stay present with you, who is able to observe your body language, who is able to see when you're coming toward that painful edge where you begin to dissociate, because this is how our psyche is built. When we come toward painful sensation, painful emotion, that our psyche deems to be too much, that it's going to flood us over, it's going to dissociate, it's going to disconnect. And it happens without us realizing it. We just shift to something different, or maybe we don't feel anything. I've worked with some people who initially told me, Ira, I feel nothing. And I would always say, the only way for you to feel nothing is not to be alive. Then I can believe that you feel nothing. But as long as you exist in this body, you absolutely all the time feel something. And there is a lot of aliveness that is coming from being aware of what you feel. Then there is also an opportunity for deep spiritual clarity, deep understanding of what is it that I need for myself, for my journey, something that no one else can tell me. And guess what? The only person you are going to have with you all the time, the only consciousness you are going to have with you all the time is you. 24/7. It's the only person, no matter how amazing your relationship is with kids that you have or with your partner, the only person who can be there for you is you. And I personally know that through different experiences and encounters I had in my life with different teachers, with different gurus, nothing can compare to the power and healing that I have been able to offer to myself. And this is what I want to give you. I want to give you this tool. I want to give you this capacity to be your own guide, to be your own healer, to be someone who knows what they need as they go through life from moment to moment, to be someone who can be this incredibly loving presence to the self, someone who can wrap you in love and compassion and kindness. And that changes, it changes everything. It changes the way you feel physically, it changes the way you feel emotionally, it changes the way you set boundaries, what people you're allowed to be in your vicinity, what people you move away. It allows you to decrease drama in your life. I'm definitely myself continuing to be a student of this work, probably my entire life. You know, that's something that is very beautiful about life, about being a soul, a consciousness in a human body, that you continuously have an opportunity to evolve. You continuously have an opportunity to grow and to explore your different desires, your different fantasies, your different qualities and sides of who you are. That's fascinating. Now, if you are a couple, that's something that I'm also very happy to offer. I studied couples therapy for a while. I practiced with my ex-husband for, I would say, 8 years, approach that is called encounter-centered couples therapy, developed by Heidi Schleifer. I've seen how beautiful and powerful this work is. It definitely allowed us to grow individually. Each one of us were able to be healed relationally by this work that we were able to do together. What is very unique about this work, that you are right away positioned to look into each other, and a therapist is someone who is sitting from outside, guiding you and helping you to listen deeply, to offer to each other that kind of presence that is healing. That's really incredible. And I want to say that thanks to this work, we were able to uncouple, I believe, relatively smoothly, and we are able to be good friends and good parents that can cooperate together as we are growing our son. But I also want to tell you that something that I knew and unfortunately had no one who could empower and support me, something that I believe many couples therapists don't know, is that there is love that is ecstatic. And more people feel this, that there is, not for everyone, right? Like some people understand that they want to maybe practice open relationships, or they understand that they are going to live their life in polyamorous way. Each person is different, right? But the person that I am, and that I knew and that I felt that I am, is someone who has this one other human being, one other soul with whom I could feel that we are in eternity of love, and eternity of romantic relationship. And unfortunately, I had no one who could have supported me and told me, Ira, if that's what you feel, then that's your truth and you need to pursue it. You don't need to spend all this time trying to fix relationship that is not meant to be, is not meant to be a romantic relationship. And unfortunately, this is what I've heard from other couples, this is what I know from the professional couple therapy community. Not many people have that experience. And so not many people understand when you shouldn't try and force a couple into staying, into being a couple. And this is something that I can offer to you as well. So whether you are questioning if you need to be in that couple relationship that you are in that case, I often would recommend for you to come into your individual process so that you can first of all gain clarity within you. Or if you are, on the contrary, feeling that that's my person, we both feel this, we both feel deeply interconnected. We absolutely resonate with that precipice that we are here to share this life together, and we feel, we know that our bond is something that kind of reaches maybe even through lifetimes. And so still couples, even when they experience this bond, may have challenges. And that's where I really like to help. And that's of course very different when you're trying to glue together two people who are not meant to be in a romantic relationship. I like to help people save time, energy, money, trying to do that. Versus understanding that, yes, we are that kind of a couple, but of course we need help, because part of the soul coming into this human body again and again and again with all the challenges, with all the harshness that exists on this planet, we are doing this because there is something for us to learn, there is something for us to experience, there is a way, for us to evolve, to grow. And I will say a little bit more before I finish, why you still would have challenges, and also what I do, what I discovered that initially I didn't study, through my couple therapy studies, because not many people know this, Psychology, the field of psychology still doesn't talk energy. So some knowledge is just simply, not that accessible to many people. So we don't really have that available to clients. But luckily, I can help you there as well. So why would we have challenges if we have this incredible love, when we have this alignment and we are meant to be together? Well, because you still incarnate as humans into certain families, and the moment you come as a soul into being a child, into being a human, you are conditioned by the family that you are coming into. In other words, if you are coming into a family that maybe one or both parents have drug abuse, or maybe people live in a terrible poverty, or maybe there is a lot of fighting, a lot of mean language is being spoken, you are going to be absorbing all of that. You're going to be internalizing all of that. If your parents, unfortunately, that's the case for so many of us, if your parents are continuously fighting and they're not happy to be together, but they kind of feel that they need to be together for the children, so many adults are in that, you are going to be internalizing that relationship as something that is normal. And even when you grow and you realize that's not what I want, it's already a part of your automatic behavioral, mental, emotional pattern. And here you are, coming together with another person who had their upbringing. Very often we will notice that we have similar upbringing, and we kind of are attracted to each other because we had similar challenges, and now together we want to come out of them and grow and bring into this world new relational reality that is deeply loving, that is very harmonious and respectful. We will still understand that it's not just something that I can see or I can know or I can intellectually comprehend this is something that is happening, and just by virtue of intellectually comprehending it, being able to change it. It doesn't work this way. Those patterns go deep into our bodies, and we need tools. We need often to get that other presence, a presence of the guide, of mentor, of therapist, who can introduce you to how can you show up in the moments when you're triggered, in the moments when you're hurting. How can you together work to heal those relational traumas that you are holding in your bodies and that are truly automatic. So what I realized is that, and how I came to the 10 session process, and as a couple, you're also able to come here for a couple retreats, but really at this point, I'm like, I want to leave this option for people who are returning clients, because there is a certain foundation that we need to learn, and it's best done within a 10 session framework. So the way it works is that I'm going to be meeting separately with each of you after our initial session. First, we are going to come together. We are going to learn what is it that you are dreaming of, what is it that is on your way to your relational dream. And then I'm going to meet with two of you separately, because I want to feel into your field, feel into your energy, feel into your story, your personal story, and also understand what are the needs, because not always the needs are the same. For example, I had clients who come when one of the people had much more traumatic experiences in their lives. Sometimes it's rape. Sometimes it's just really abusive household. And what often happens is that people connect, they connect because they recognize each other as this couple of souls that are here to be together, to live together, to grow together, grow into pleasure, into joy. So they recognize each other, they come together. Love, of course, is very powerful, and that energy is already beginning to do some healing work. But at the same time, there will be an expectation, kind of unspoken expectation, that love, just love, can somehow heal and compensate for that trauma. And then the relationship in the couple begins to form in such a way that that person who had this much more harsh experience begins to lean on the other, but the other is not therapist. The other is not capable to give you that attention and that presence that you need in order to heal. There is a work that you need to do on your own. You need to develop your tools. Because it's like, you can think about it as a dance. If there are two people that are dancing, this couple dance, and one is really leaning too heavily on the other, then this other is going to be in continuous state of stress. And that often doesn't allow people to really continue to be together. So when I see, this is why I have this sessions that are separate for the two of you. When I see that one person has a bigger need, I will work more sessions with that person. And then we will, come together for couple sessions where you are going to be working together, and there you're going to be learning all these juicy and amazing tools that are, I would call them energy alignment, when you will understand how to work not only consciously kind of tackling trauma and maybe connecting to your childhoods. Actually, with the time, I began to really move away from giving too much time to the past and bringing so much more awareness to the present. Because in the present, especially if you work with energy, you can notice that you can be triggered, you can tap into those painful sensations relating to certain relational dynamics from your past, but staying in the present, connected to your energy, you're suddenly able to clear those patterns without having to spend hours doing psychoanalysis. So that has been amazing for me to discover. Really, I was, At first I was very suspicious as a psychologist, like, is this really working? And as I continued to practice, I could see, yes, it does. It's really incredible. And this is again what moved me into being able to design this 10-session process, understanding that it's going to be very helpful, very empowering. Many couples don't have to come back after they go through it. Some couples do need to come back after sometimes years of being able to utilize what they learned within 10 sessions. And finally, one more product that I offer is individual 24-hour retreat. When you are going to be coming here into Encounterland, we have forest spa with sauna, cold plunge, and a hot tub. We have little Bhakti cottage. You can check this out on my website. It's very beautiful forest. It's very magical. The ground is filled with quartz, which is powerful crystal that helps to enhance your health, your overall health. It's a crystal that is considered to clear and harmonize and balance energy, and the ground is just rich in this crystal. So it is really special place to be in. And within this 24 hours, we are going to work pretty intensely. So you will start, you can go to the website and you can read the entire program. But you are going to have this process that is specifically developed, again, from previous experience, from gaining the feedback and understanding from my clients what really helps them. You're going to be taken into very deep nervous system, calm down, relaxation, regulation, connection to your spirit, to your soul. You're going to be building mandala of your life. You're going to be connecting to your powerful sides, to the sides in you that hold wisdom, that hold clarity, that hold dreams that are authentic, that are going to ripple through your body with joy, with excitement, with pleasure. You're going to be connecting to those. Simultaneously, you're going to be connecting to all the things that are still hurting, still asking from healing. Maybe different patterns in you that are blocking you, that are not allowing that which you desire to come to a cure. So this is how we start our process. And we are then going to continue into embodied work that is going to help you to just, spend more time in deeply connected, aware, loving presence of yours. So your nervous system is going to be rearranging, developing this new way of being. This product, this retreat, is really wonderful if you are maybe in a crisis situation. Maybe you really understand that you just need kind of immediate help. You need to gain clarity, or trauma is coming up and you know that you need just to go all in, tackle it head to head. That's when I suggest that you go this route.